a space really invites you to do something to the best of your ability and to even make it a practice. So I love this concept. I've had a sex room myself, but never to the level that you take it to. So can you describe for us a little bit, like, what are some of the sex rooms you've designed and what level can they go to?
They can go to various levels. With my business, I actually sign NDAs. All my clients are on NDAs because I have to respect their privacy.
Yeah.
They're in high profile positions.
Yeah.
So, and sadly enough, people are too quick to judge. So it would, if I told you who my clients were, they would be looked at in a different light, which is that judgmental thing that we all try and not want to do. But particularly for the show, I had such an interesting, diverse clients to work with. They could be your next door neighbor, most of them. Shanika and Matt wanted their spice up their bedroom because they couldn't, they felt that with their children, their sex life was lacking. Interestingly enough, they'd never actually been to an adult toy store either. And so it was a great pleasure when I took them in and said, here, have a look at this dildo. Have a look at this vibrator, darling. Put it in your hands.
So what kind of questions do you ask to figure out what sort of sex room you should help a couple build?
Well, really, I want to ask about what their intimacies are like, what they are like between the sheets. What are their boundaries do they want to push? And what type of ambience, what do they want to do with the room? What do they want to have created? It could be a fantasy room. It could be just like a sacred room. It could be, a BDSM dedicated dungeon. Normally, if I'm doing dungeons, I like to elevate them, which is what I also did for the polyamorous family in the show.
What does it mean to elevate a dungeon?
Means that it doesn't look disgusting and dirty.
Oh, it's like a bougie dungeon.
It's like a bougie dungeon. It's luxury. It's that added luxury, which actually, in a sense, can actually play with the psyche of being more erotic.
I had a roommate in college who had a Ratchet Dungeon.
A Ratchet Dungeon?
Yeah, back then I was a little scared. It was like a cross over her bed, but it looked like it might it didn't look like we spent a lot of money on that cross.
Oh my goodness. There are companies, I deal with a lot of private companies that do actually, I have my stuff custom made for my clients.
Yeah.
But there are places out there that do some really beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And really it's a matter of what you want to go in your room.
Yeah.
And not everybody can afford a sex room.
Totally.
But everybody has a bedroom.
Yeah. Everyone deserves a sex room, though. We'll put it that way. Used to be, what's amazing, right? Like me and Emily toured Europe this summer, and we did.
Oh my God, you were the one that toured with Emily Morse.
No, Emily Fletcher. Yeah.
Oh my God, sorry. Cut that one out. Oh my God, because Emily, do you know Emily Morse?
I do know her, yeah.
Yeah, she toured Europe this year.
Well, so me and Emily Fletcher we went to the High Priestess sacred sites, and we spent time in Pan's Cave, which was supposedly the birthplace of Pan. Actually, having been there, I believe it was the birthplace of Pan, or at least Pan energy. And we went to a primordial cave in Crete that had fertility rites and rituals, like archaeological artifacts from like 15,000 years ago, like huge amounts of time of using these caves. And so when we went in there, so interesting that in our culture, we kind of think of caves as spooky, as we took a lot of sexual expression and witchy expression and magical expression and made it kind of scary, when actually it's like the most normal, beautiful thing. And so as we were spending time in this primordial cave, like it was such a deep cave and it was so dark. And I was like, wow, these caves are where you would have gone to make love. They're where you would have gone to birth babies, because you would have been so exposed out in the rest of nature, right? You wouldn't have done it in a field. You wouldn't have even wanted to do it in a forest. Maybe another tribe would come, an animal, but in a cave you were protected.
Yes.
So these caves are like the original sex room, like as humans, we've always craved this place to go to make love.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if you know that Catherine the Great actually had, it is rumored that she actually had a dedicated part of her palace with sex furniture.
Yes.
Which is absolutely fascinating. And that was all that was what that space was for.
Yeah.
Full of beautiful, erotic furniture.
Oh, yes.
I know.
All right. So I'd love if you could give us some ideas of what you might do. Like if, I'm listening and I'm like, ooh, I want to either create my own sex room or even just add a few pieces that I could put out in my bedroom, right? If I don't have my own dedicated room, I could add add some things that sort of switch it from like, yo, I'm just going to pass out here to, ooh, let's have the best time ever. So you mentioned, more ritualistic couple. Like if I'm like a tantric practitioner, I want things to feel more sensual, more sacred. What kind of elements do you bring into a room like that?
Okay, so for me, it's all about touch and feel.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the sensuality behind what makes is another detail which makes a sex room really wonderful. Again, if it's in a bedroom, then I would go for something like the tantric chair, because when you look at it, you don't think it's an item that you don't look at it as a sexual piece of furniture. It's absolutely beautiful. And then I would change up your bed linens and create something that's really soft. And I've always said, look, if you've never gone to bed naked, go to bed naked. That's really, really erotic on the skin. Again, because it's all sensory. So get some really good bed linens and, Egyptian cottons and things like that, and some great throw pillows and some throws, to give it that luxury. And if you want to go to that little bit of a kinky side, get some under bed restraints.
Yes.
And get a few sort of like wrist cuffs and go from there. Blindfold. Let your partner, blindfold you and then give you a sensory guide over your body. You have no idea what's going to happen. It's absolutely fantastic.